TomoNews presents Things Banned in China. World's hottest PC game to get locked out of China. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds may be a smash hit everywhere in the world, but leave it to China to take aim at the survival video game's violent content. Gameplay in Battlegrounds is Hunger Games style. It starts with players parachuting into a desert island, scavenging for all sorts of weapons, and then fighting each other to the death. Last man standing wins. Despite not yet officially launching in China, the game already has a sizable chunk of Chinese players. But with regulators complaining of too much blood and gore, it looks like Battlegrounds won't be getting a license anytime soon. If it does, expect it to be heavily cut and censored to fit socialist core values and traditional Chinese culture. Fun. The Chinese Copyright Association may not be a fan of violently competitive games, but better violent in a game than in real life, which might be the case if the players get fed up with their policing.
Sony censors Pixels for China, making a bad movie even worse. The new Sony Pictures blockbuster, Pixels, starring Adam Sandler, had a couple scenes cut out so that Chinese censors would approve it. Leaked emails between Sony execs in the US and China show that the movie was subject to changes dictated by the Chinese market, which is set to overtake revenue from the American movie-going public in the next few years, according to the China Film Producers Association. The problem stemmed from one scene in the script where aliens disguised as classic video game characters attacked the Great Wall of China. This scene was never produced, until now. Another scene taken out of the script by Chinese movie executives was a chase where a giant Pac-Man rips Shanghai a new one. The leaked emails also show that the China Film Group Corporation gets to have a say in what makes the cut because they contributed 10% of the budget for Pixels. But the censorship wasn't enough to save the film, which was beaten at the box office by Marvel's latest, Ant-Man. Since China gets to decide what constitutes appropriate entertainment these days, are you looking forward to all of our movies and music turning into this?
China bans streaming sexy banana eating online. This is a scene no longer available for Chinese netizens. In the latest attempt to crack down on inappropriate digital content, Chinese authorities have banned people from streaming themselves eating bananas erotically online. Live stream broadcasting is a highly profitable business in China. Most popular hosts are young pretty girls dressed in revealing clothing. The host has to please her viewers by answering all of their questions and demands. The viewers then satisfy the host by buying her virtual gifts. Some hosts can earn up to $15,000 a month. It's not surprising that about 70% of the viewers are men, aged between 19 and 35. It is estimated that the total amount of viewers may reach 100 million in 2016. The new regulations require live streaming platforms to monitor their output 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Although there isn't a fixed standard for what can be broadcasted, eating a banana is definitely a no. Hey, you in the toy car! You should not put that filthy yellow fruit in your mouth.
Chinese models dress as homeless to protest Shanghai car show ban. The Auto Shanghai banned models from this year's car show. In protest of the ban, angry models dressed up as homeless people with torn dresses and dirt on their faces. Apparently, the models were angry because they'd been left with no work after the ban. To protest the ban, they basically dressed like homeless beggars, with ripped clothes and all. Organisers of Auto Shanghai 2015 banned the models from the event to focus attention back on the cars. Though this might not have worked out as planned. Why? Well, put simply, many men like cars, but more like models. And that just might not be the best thing for a car show.
China has been harassing a Canadian beauty queen. For 3 weeks, Canadian beauty queen Anastasia Lin was allowed to smile at the Miss World pageant in Washington. but not permitted to drop knowledge about human rights abuses in China. Why? Because the CCP is filled with sensitive little pricks. Lin was blocked from attending last year's Miss World pageant in China because she criticized the authoritarian. She would be booted if she criticized butthurt Beijing. The London-based pageant is largely sponsored by Chinese companies, hence the pathetic kowtowing. But after the media started shedding light on the lame harassment, China finally backed off, realizing how petty they looked. Lin now has the green light to speak. Lin has been trying to spread awareness about China's lucrative transplant industry, which gets its supply from government-backed programs that harvest the organs of prisoners. Of course, China denies it. But isn't there some proverb that says those who deny it, supply it?
This is what censorship looks like in real time in China. This is what happens when you're watching TV in China and the topic becomes too sensitive for the central government to handle. The screen now shows a serene picture along with technical difficulties, please stand by, at the bottom written in Chinese. Going back to the beginning of the clip,
this video has gone viral on social media.
Notice how the audio is lagging behind the video here. This is because there is actually someone standing by with their finger on the button waiting to squelch anything the central government doesn't want the Chinese people to see.
China takes the fun out of Steam. Reports coming out of China this week say that the Chinese Communist Party has blocked Steam community access. Oh, and that's totally, absolutely nothing to do with Jack Ma's Tencent launching its very own Steam-like store, WeGame, in September. According to reports, the Steam store is still accessible, but the writing may very well be on the wall for the Valve-run gaming website in China. And if that's the case, Valve will be feeling the pinch. Reportedly, millions of their customers come from the PRC. PUBG was banned in the country, but was allowed back in only after Tencent agreed to help make the Chinese version socialist-friendly. And yo, that's what Skyrim mods on Steam really need, some socialism with Chinese characteristics. So it's see ya later for Dragonborn. Hello, Chairman Mao. China tries to ban Taiwanese flag from gay games in Paris. China goes on with its worldwide bullying enterprise against Taiwan. The Communist Party has lately pressured international airlines and companies to change their website classifications of Taiwan. It also got the island's right to host the East Asian Youth Games revoked. And now it has a new target to further isolate the self-ruled territory. The Gay Games are a sporting and cultural event that seeks to promote sexual diversity. This year, it will be held in Paris from August 4th to August 12th. Around 10,000 athletes from nearly 90 countries are expected to attend. The 28-person Taiwanese squad had first obtained the right to compete under the Taiwanese flag. However, the Federation of Gay Games appears to be coming under pressure from the French government, which doesn't seem to be keen on letting Taiwanese athletes display their national flag. According to Taiwanese gay rights activist Zhao Wei, this can only mean one thing, that China directly protested to the French government. Zhu, who leads the Taiwanese delegation, said he would fight until the last moment for his right to use the national flag during the event. He added that it would be deceiving if an organization that promotes inclusive and progressive values eventually bowed to an oppressive dictatorship. Dictator Xi banned stuff like the letter N and Animal Farm. It's a glorious time to be Chinese. Things are on the up and up in China. They've got predictive policing, cops using facial recognition, and a social credit system for everyone, and now a ruler for life. And let's not forget the longest and most funnest wall in the world, the Great Firewall of China. To celebrate dictator Xi Dada's anointing, the CCP has decided to ban fun stuff like the letter N and terms like disagree, incapable ruler, I oppose, and a boatload of others. You're also not going to be able to find terms like George Orwell's Animal Farm or 1984 on the Twitter knockoff Weibo. But don't worry, China. Indefinite will go by real quick. Enjoy!
Popular Chinese cartoon Sheep and Wolf got banned. Grey Wolf, what are you still doing here? Why aren't you getting us some sheep for dinner? There's no way you could escape my mighty flying pan! Oftentimes, this poor gray wolf is the victim of domestic violence in the popular Chinese cartoon Sheep and Wolf. He's been bitten by pans for 9,444 times, electrocuted for 1,755 times, caught a tragic situation for 1,380 times. The other main character, Sheep, doesn't have an easier role either. He's been cooked for 839 times. The violent content has angered China's Central Television. As a result, the popular cartoon has been banned by some provincial TV stations as well. In April, a kid tried to grill his friend like lamb chops after watching the cartoon. The production house CPE is now putting in millions of dollars to fix the animations. Really? After 8 years? Isn't that a little bit too late?